All right, everyone. So we're ready to keep on going with day 3 of NoReset Speedrunning Marathon here at DreamHack Austin 2018. Next up is 20XX Any Percent Normal by HeroMystic on PC. HeroMystic, how's it going today?
Going pretty good.
All right. How do you feel about this upcoming run right now?
I feel pretty excited, actually.
Yeah? Perfect. Perfect. So basically Mega Man roguelike, indie roguelike, 20XX for those of you who haven't played it. I was watching you practice a little bit earlier when you were testing your setup. I gotta say, this game looks amazing. The art style is really up there. And so if you're a Mega Man fan, this effectively kicks off our Mega Man block, which will be followed by Mega Man 2 on the NES and Mega Man XX on the PlayStation 1. So take it away, HeroMystic. This is your time.
All right. Well, I'm HeroMystic. I am currently a Nina runner for 20XX. Nina is basically the Mega Man X inspiration of this game. There are 2 other characters, basically a zero clone and a unique one that they have for DLC. On the couch, I have here is Frisk. He is a Mega Man XD runner, but he also plays this game as well, so he'll be helping me out with commentary. So.
Yep. Yeah, hi, I'm Frisk.
So, there are 3 modes to this game. There's Reverent Mode. Reverent Mode is basically the easy mode of this game. You have 3 lives. But I'm not a wimp, so we're going to go on normal mode. And normal mode is 1 life only. If you die, that's it. That's the end of the game.
It's the only mode that matters.
Yeah, it's the only run that matters. So we're just going to go ahead and go right into it. On a countdown, on go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So the first stage is going to be on. It's basically completely random. After this stage, you'll be able to select which stage to go to. But the first one is going to be one of 8 bosses, and whatever stage he gets first is going to set the pace for the run. It'll decide exactly how long the boss fight's going to go, and which weapon he'll be able to get access to earlier on in the run, which will help with later bosses. You'll notice he's doing a lot of platforming. So fun thing about this game, it's kind of like a randomizer. Like the earlier levels are always going to be kind of short, but the exact placement of all the platforms and the traps and everything, there's only a limited number of patterns, but the pattern changes with each run. So everything you see Hero doing here is mostly off of reaction and just a lot of experience.
Yeah, every single one of these levels are pretty much never the same every time. And I've played this game for over almost 700 hours, and it's never the same every time. So a lot of stuff is just due to experience of the game.
So this is Rolster. He's one of the better bosses actually to get first, because if you fight him on level 1, that's the fight. That's just it. It's done. His life bar is extremely short in level 1. If you fight him later on, he's got a bit more health, and then after you kill him during the first phase, he breaks up into 2 clones, and basically it's just a little more hassle, but generally you want him kind of earlier. Actually, wow, this RNG is insane. So he's got, this is called,
Scatterblast?
No. This is the boss that's going to be giving us a key weapon.
Okay, Shatterbeak.
Yeah,
Splinter Frost.
he's Shatterbeak, and he gives you Splinter Frost. This is the best weapon in the whole game. So it's actually really nice if you get Shatterbeak level 1 or level 2. So this is so nice for him.
Yeah, Splinter Frost is basically the shotgun ice of this game, except it's actually good.
Yeah, and the boss is basically Chill Penguin.
It basically destroys every single boss in this game. So getting it really early is really awesome. Because I have runs where it just wouldn't show up until level 7. It's wow, why? Why do you hate me, game?
So yeah, needless to say, the game's being kind of nice right now. He also started with pretty much for an attack damage run, this would be the best weapon. It's called Scatterblast, and basically the way it works is it turns your normal buster into a short-range multi-hit move. So it actually does the most damage of all the buster mods that you can get. But I will say that in this run, in a marathon setting, it's not super great. just because having shorter range makes things a little more risky. But that'll just make for a more entertaining run.
Yeah, people always like the runs where I'm at 1 HP at the end of the game. Oh, speaking of HP, your HP doesn't refill after every level.
Right. Typically, in when you play a Mega Man game, any Mega Man Classic or Mega Man X, usually you beat the stage, and you pick your next stage, and you're full health, full weapons. This game, you have a resource bar that just does not refill ever. The only time it refills is if you pick up the little items that refill your health, or if you get an augment, like an example would be an item called Iterative Plate. And you may see him get it if he's lucky during this run. And what that one does is at the end of every level, your energy gets refilled, which is really nice. Or actually, it's at the start of every level, but it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I say Iterative Plate is like the best aug in the game because you get to do some crazy tricks when you have full energy at the start of the level. You have the right setup for stuff like that. It might not happen on this run, but it's still possible, so stay tuned for that.
Basically, if he gets Iterative Plate, we might see a really, really good time in this run. If he doesn't get it, he can still get a solid time, probably get somewhere around 22, 23 minutes, but if he gets Iterative Plate, that's almost a clear cut. It's going to be sub 22.
Also, this is a boss, and he's dead now.
Yeah, that's Perforator. You actually... It's not too bad to fight him this early. You get his weapon. It's called Vera. That weapon is probably the best weapon in the game, regardless of what type of run you're doing. Because there's different ways you can complete a run in this game that are either more consistent, more fast, etc. He's doing a power run for the most part, and that'll only change really if he just gets unlucky and doesn't get many power augments. Power augments being these items that increase the damage you do with your weapons.
That's unlucky. That setup is really, really odd. Never seen that setup before. See? It's a marathon run.
That's really unlucky.
It's like, you know what? Let's show something new to HeroMystic. Mess them up. Like, okay, that's full game. Thanks. You mind explaining glory zones to people?
Yeah, so you just probably saw him walk by like a door, you know, kind of looks like a boss door or something, but no, that's what we call a glory zone. People like to call it other things too. But anyway, glory zones are kind of, they're not necessarily, well, they're a little bit random on where they show up, but there's different types of glory zones that you can enter there. And the thing about the glory zones is if you enter them, they give you a challenge, and if you complete the challenge, it gives you a free, what we call core augments, like the equivalent of, like, for a Mega Man X team, it would be like the boot upgrade from X2. It lets you get an air dash, right? So it's stuff like that. But the thing is, there's different types of core augments in this game. There's a pink one, a green one, a yellow one, and a red one, and all of them do different things. And basically, you're just going to get powered up throughout the course of a run. So glory zones are really nice. The problem is, though, there's different types that you can get. Like, there's one that's called Flee, where you have to run away. So that one was kind of slow, so you just skipped it. Anyway, this is Vile Visage. He's got, well, yeah, there you go. He's doing it right there. He's got a shield ability, so ideally you want to run into him later on in the run. Or at least if you have Scatter Blast, then earlier is fine, just not level 1, so this is good. And he just picked up one of the other most broken weapons in the game. That's going to be Force Nova.
Yeah, Force Nova is pretty awesome.
Yeah, here, you want to explain a little bit about it?
Sure, why not? Force Nova is basically an AoE move. You can kind of think of it as like your Giga Buster in a way, except it's boundable and it's actually good. So it basically destroys everything around you.
Yeah, it's just basically like anything nearby you just instantly gets deleted, and you basically only spend 1 point of energy on it. It's kind of broken. It also disables traps, so that's pretty cool, because later on when we see him doing Sky Temple stages, you're going to notice it's a lot of platforming and these laser gates that are, if you're a casual player or someone first starting out speedrunning, they're a pain in the butt. They're so frustrating to deal with. But yeah, Force Nova, you don't even have to deal with it. Wow. Owlhawk's Talon. Okay, so he just picked up a Buster Augment, and that's going to change it's basically going to add an effect to his Buster. This one, right off the bat, gives him +4 power, so now his weapons are doing more damage. And on top of that, anytime he kills something with with his weapon, he gets not with the weapon, sorry, with the buster, he picks up free energy, which is really nice because as you can see right now, his energy bar is completely empty. But that'll be really helpful throughout the course of the run.
Yes, lucky. Really lucky, actually. Let's make this boss easy, super easy. Thanks, RNG. That's actually pretty good.
So we have Astral Twins here. He's going to just body them, though, because he's got Splinter Frost. And like I said, it's one of the more broken weapons in the game, and it also happens to be their weakness. So that's just free. Super clean fight, actually. Those are like one of the hardest bosses in the game, actually, if you don't have his weakness. But man, it makes a difference when you do have it.
Yeah, if you can't have that weakness, they're free. They're super free. Pull up on your shield, please. That's actually kind of annoying. Anyways, this is Sky Temple. This is
This is hell, basically, right here. This is the worst stage other than level 9. It's definitely doable when you have Vera. Unfortunately, it's super duper doable. But if you have a run, lose a lot of time or die, it's usually on this stage, if not level 9, because there's a ton of platforming, there's a ton of laser gates, there's going to be a lot of traps, things for him to deal with. So for this stage, Vera. It's that little machine gun thing he has, and Force Nova are going to play a big role here. You'll see him using it, disabling some laser gates, clearing out some enemies. In this game, there's kind of a theme. I like to say this game is like Mega Man meets Toho meets a randomizer, because, well, we already discussed a lot of things are random, but on stages like this one, they give you a lot to work around.
Yeah, the game's very, very bullet hell-like.
But actually, that's his favorite thing about it.
Yeah, I love bullet hells. That's why I always keep playing this game. Also, the fact that it's random just means that it's less about making a dance and just doing everything on reaction.
There's a lot of experience needed to become like a really top runner in this game, just because you have to be able to deal with so many different scenarios that can occur. Like, there's a limited number of them, but it's still kind of random, so you have to have a lot of experience and know what to do in every given situation.
It's one of the worst cases that you can get. Because everything wants to hit you. Literally everything wants to hit you here. Fortunately, we got to the boss door.
Ooh, and there it is. We talked about it earlier during the run, about an item that restores your energy at the end of every level. That was it right there. That was Enerative Plating. It is like the most broken item in the game. Just refilling your energy in a game where normally you have to do a lot of resource management. That's amazing. That's really like refreshing RNG. Now he's not going to have to worry too much when he gets to the later parts of the game. How do you feel about that item you just picked up?
Dance game.
Dance game. Okay, so he picked up an item. It's called World Slug. It's one of the worst items you can actually pick up in the game. But he was trying to go fast. He picked it up. But yeah, it's really unfortunate when it spawns. Basically what it does is it slows all the platforms in the game down, which as a casual is a good thing. It sounds cool, and definitely as a casual it's a good thing, because if there's a platform that's moving pretty quickly, it might be kind of hard to get on. But as an experienced runner like HeroMystic, you kind of don't need them to slow down. So instead, you literally lose about, like, I don't know, 30 seconds to a whole minute over the course of the run just picking up that item because of all the platforming you're going to be doing. But hopefully it won't play too much effect. He did pick up Enerative Plating, so later on in the run, we might be able to see a pretty neat trick called a Vera Skip that he'll be able to do for a majority of one of the levels. And you're seeing him do a little bit of it right there.
We're ready at the boss door now.
Nice. All right, so we made it through. Okay, so that right there, that's a shop. Think about that, or it's also called scrap recycling. Thing about it though, you need to pick up nuts. Nuts are an item that drops when you kill random enemies. Sometimes you open a box. It's basically the form of currency in this game. And what appears in the shops is mostly random, but later on when you get to like level 6 onwards in your run, if you go into a shop, there's much more likelihood that everything in there is going to be expensive, but extremely useful. That time he actually wanted to pick up an item called Brain Food Lunch, but it was 40 nuts. And the thing about it is that item's really good because it refills your energy completely, as well as giving you a higher max HP and energy, which is really helpful in a power run like this.
Work, by the way.
Also, yeah, Death Lotus was this level 7.
Warslog also slows down the Yoku blocks right here, and it's slowing things down a lot because I was able to hit him for like one full cycle.
Yeah, you'd be able to one-cycle him by now if you had a little bit. It's kind of unfortunate.
Well, he's dead already, so that's pretty good.
Still nice. Ooh, picks up juice reserves. Okay, so that one, basically the more energy he has, the stronger his weapons are. They do more damage. And he also picks up Thunderous Spoon. Wow, you're cheating right now. That RNG, wow. Like, enter to plate, boost reserves, Thunderous Spoon, wow. Pretty good RNG. The only thing he's really, really lacking, like, he's starving super hard for some energy right now.
Yeah. If I have more energy, I can basically go through level 9 for free.
That being said, he's an experienced runner. He should be fine. He's got this. He's a professional, just like Lauren.
I'm a very I'm a very good professional. Okay. So I'm out of energy, so I had to do regular platforming like a pleb. What's good about the green arms is that whenever you kill things with the Buster, it has a chance of refilling energy. It's not guaranteed, but it is.
That's right. You have the Owl Hawk's Talon.
Yeah.
Right. So if you guys remember, what he's talking about is there's a green Buster that he picked up earlier from doing, I believe it was Glory Zone. And the thing about the green Buster is it gives you more energy. So it's actually kind of nice because right now he's got extremely low max energy and it's on empty right now. So if he kills some enemies,
Dally.
he could get lucky with some energy drops.
Help me, Dally. Ooh, that's a great beginning. Okay. We're not dying now, like guaranteed.
So he picked up a good item. It's called Re-Beginner. It's not like amazing if you're trying to get like world record, but it's so nice for your run safety. Maybe you're just trying to go for PB. It's like one of the best items that you can pick up. Oh, Utilifier.
I'm not getting that.
He's skipping it. Okay, he's okay with it. So the item that I was talking about, Utilifier, it's really good if you're doing an attack run, but in a power run like this one, it's kind of like a mixed bag because it has good things and bad things about it. It's not random, but it's you lose a lot of power, so your weapons do way less damage, but you gain so much energy from it that it's like almost still worth it in a power run sometimes. In this case, though, he's going to go for just keeping the weapon damage, and that's perfectly fine.
Alright, so this is level 9. Level 9
Alright,
is
so
basically like the run killer, the gatekeeper of this game.
Definitely.
It's like it will come to your house and strangle you if you can't do this.
This run has killed a lot of mine, that's for sure. But Hero makes it look really easy sometimes. We'll see how he does it this run. He's got kind of low energy, so
yeah,
it's
so
going to be a lot of
work
platforming.
early for a little bit. Just a little bit of air skipping.
Yeah. Normally, if you're lucky enough, or just if you have that solid AUG list, you'll pick up a lot of energy. And so what you'll be doing is what he's doing right there. But you'll do it for the entirety of the entire stage if you're lucky. But that requires you having around 35 energy. And this just goes back to the randomizer factoring. Every run's going to be different because you may or may not see.
By the way, this is Wolfslug at work again. Thanks, Wolfslug.
The augment earlier that we talked about, World Slug slowing down platforms, putting in work here. There you go. You can see he would already be on the other side. So
I'd be done this level by now. There's no Wolfslug.
Nah, it's fine.
but it's fine. We should still make some pretty good time here, not still be underestimated. Thanks, Laser Gabe. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of those laser gates, but now that he's out of energy, he can't use Force Nova. Now it's just going to be mostly just raw, good dodging skills and platforming to avoid any laser gates and traps because he no longer can Force Nova every time he's in a tight spot. So basically, this is where, you know, chips are on the table a little bit more. On the upside, though, he has Re-Beginner and a ton of health, so he'll be okay.
Right now, what I'm worried about is not necessarily my energy, because I think my attack is actually pretty decent. Just decent, not great, but decent. So I'm okay with the low energy. But what I'm worried about right now is my health. My health is actually kind of low. Even with Re-Beginner, it can get kind of close. Because typically for this boss, it's a good chance you can take 2 damage per hit with one special move that he has. It's like a desperation attack. It's kind of rough. Okay.
Ooh, nice. He's good on his energy now. He's got that brain food lunch. This is clear cut. It's done. Yeah, I forget what he was saying. No, this is done. There you go. You can see Splinter Frost at work, showing why it's the most broken thing in the game. If you can get the shot just like even a little bit inside the boss, you'll notice there's like a shrapnel that pop off. I want to call it shotgun ice, but it's not shotgun ice. Let's just call it shotgun ice anyway.
Yeah, call it shotgun ice.
Yeah,
fine.
you know what? Okay, so if you can put the shotgun ice partly into their body, though, the shrapnel will pop out, and that does extra damage.
Yeah, it does half the damage of what the big part of a shotgun ice does. So it's basically times 6 for the entire thing. Which your power stat times 6, which is a lot. It's more than anything in the game besides mid laser, but that requires a charge time. So shotgun ice is definitely the strongest move in the game, right next to Scatter Blast. But Scatter
Do you have
Blast
time to read a donation?
Scatter Blast is a whole nother story. Yeah, go ahead.
We actually have 2, but the first one is from Pazevin Jazz. It's $20. He says, "Where is PM Gap?" We
What's
also
the
have a
question?
Where is what?
elite donation, 1337 from Marion Clue. Greetings from this part of the community. You and chat should know who I mean. Stay amazing. Good luck on the runs, and most importantly, greetings from Germany. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for the donuts, man.
Really appreciate all the donations during my run. Really appreciate that. We're going to just go ahead and skip all this.
Nah, none of that matters. We don't see it. We don't need it.
Well, this is the bull hell portion of the game where this is the
fun part.
This is the final level, by the way. I forgot to mention that. This is where they try to throw everything at you to stop you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now we just got the boss. That's easy.
Okay, it does feel a little bad that we didn't get another brain food lunch.
No energy though. Yikes.
Fortunately, we have Re-Beginner, so I won't have to worry about HP as much, but definitely the energy is pretty lacking. So we're definitely going to switch over to our Scatter Blast for the later portion of this fight. You see these clones here? They're basically just there to try to stop you. They die in one hit regardless, but if your HP is low, they can definitely be a problem. Fortunately, they won't be for this round because I have a Re-Beginner here. I'm trying to not use energy here so I can save it for the boss.
Yeah.
So if I was using energy, I would get that my portion much more easily.
Right. He can just normally in that kind of situation, if he had the energy to spare, he can either use Flame Shield, block the fire shots coming from the walls, or he can also just Vera straight to the top. By pointing his Vera downwards, he can ascend upward and just skip all of that platforming. But since he's a little bit lower on energy, he's going to have to just like run through all of the platforming and just do it manually, which is fine.
I'm basically having connections a lot here, which is why it's really, really helpful to have Rebeginner. This is later gate, and it's pretty hard to dodge it, so we just want to take a hit, and that's fine. It's just really slow.
This is
Thanks, World Slug. God, Jesus. So this would be the 4th cycle, I believe. I have not been counting, I'm sorry. But I believe it's 4th cycle. Okay, we got a little bit of energy thanks to the green arm buster. So we can go ahead and do a charge shot. And then we'll also be doing shotgun knives. And then just keep going. Hopefully this is the last one. This is the last thing we have, the last cycle. I usually don't get more than 5 cycles. I'm at low health right now. That's fine. I can wait for that. Got it. Okay,
Nice.
that was super close.
Okay.
Ultra close. Okay, now, not done yet. We gotta do these hit sequences. This is basically the last stand, and you have to run, and this explosion try and chase you. Fun fact: the explosion doesn't damage you. It's just there to be pretty.
Well,
It used to deal damage in beta, but basically, if you failed to jump, you died. So that was like everyone complained that was too harsh. So the devs were like, okay, I guess we better just make it a special effect. And so yeah, the explosion there is nice looking, but it doesn't do anything to you. See, I just did it right there. That's it. These clones can kill you if your health is low enough.
yeah, it's mainly the moving ones.
Okay, this is the last part. Time is coming in like 3 seconds. And time. $25.22. That is not bad. It's not bad at all for RTA. 24 is not bad for in-game time with the augments that I'm using. Basically, you're able to unlock the augments. I went for an aug list that was marathon safe because it has Rebeginner to make sure I don't die. The current that I use, I can get sub 18 minutes with that. So this is like a really bad time actually, but for a marathon, this is amazing. So
Right.
that's great.
Pretty much the AUG list he's talking about is one that we actually only came up with like maybe 3 days before this event.
Yeah, 3 days ago.
When we found out about how good that AUG list was, we were like, wow, this is amazing. We're going to do this all the time. But we're not quite ready to implement this in a marathon setting just because using that AUG list requires that you're going to be in a more dangerous position for a majority of the run than you would normally.
Yeah. Basically, the optimized AUG list is basically all attack power. We skip everything else. And to get PB here, you got to do a lot of damage boosting. It's very, very risky. Definitely not marathon safe. That's why we didn't go for it. Also, the RNG requires you to get Scatter Blast for your very first stage. And that is very, very hard to get. Like, if I was trying to get Scatter Blast right now for the run, you would see me reset like 10,000 times before I get it. So.
Well, I got to say one thing about speedrunners. We really are our own worst critics every single time. That run, no matter what you say, that one was amazing. I loved it. And pretty sure everyone in the audience in attendance loved it. Let's hear it for HeroMystic, guys.
Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate that. 20X is on Steam. It's super cheap. It goes on sale a lot. I recommend that everyone, especially if you're a Mega Man X fan. This gameplay is very much like Mega Man X. It is quite a bit harder. Would you agree it's a bit harder than like X3 or X2?
That's an understatement.
That's an understatement.
I got into this game myself because my buddy Hero here was like, yeah, you got to play this game. And I was like, okay, let's play it. The first time I played it, my time was 46 minutes. It was pretty rough. I think I literally died like 10 times before beating it successfully. So it's got a lot of replay value. It's hard.
Yeah. So thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. Thanks NoReset for inviting me, because they just came in my stream one day like, hey, you want to come over here? It's like, oh yeah, sure, definitely, awesome. So I'm here now.
It's a good experience.
Well, thank you for answering the call. This was our first event in the U.S. and pretty much nobody knew us, so we figured, hey, if the runners won't come to us, we'll go to them. And thanks for being here. It was our pleasure hosting you. And hopefully next event in Austin or wherever else it's going to happen, we hope to see you there as well.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so coming up next, we're ready to move on with Mega Man 2 on the NES, any percent with JVeth. So give us maybe 2 minutes. We'll get right back to you. Thank you.